The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Okay, there we go. 3, 2, never mind. Hello and welcome as we start another edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last time we spoke with you, some 24 hours ago. We start today's show, unfortunately, sadly, horrifically, talking about juvenile crime in the capital city and the capital region. Since Sunday gone, we have seen 2 teens murdered and 4 juveniles engaging in an activity that, fortunately, did not result in any loss of life, but put countless individuals' lives at risk. Sunday, 3 juveniles, 2 16-year-olds, and a 17-year-old steal a truck and lead law enforcement on a multi-parish chase. I don't have to tell you the number of people's lives that were endangered as they traveled from parish to parish with law enforcement in tow. 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old. Conventional wisdom says, pick one, whichever one was driving, and they certainly don't have the life experience or the experience behind the wheel to be involved in a high-speed chase in multiple parishes and be able to drive responsibly. Meanwhile, 2 days later, in broad daylight at the troubled Tiger Plaza apartments, a shootout in broad daylight, and a 17-year-old is dead. This morning, wake up to news reports of yet another shooting. An 18-year-old dead after being shot in an apartment complex on Avenue L. You know, not so very long ago, we had an election in the capital city, and on the ballot was a new detention facility, a new prison, in other words. And we voted it down. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand. None of us want to pay any more in taxes than we have to, particularly for things that if individuals were more responsible, we wouldn't have to pay for these things. I get it. I understand. But we have arrived at a point in time, y'all, where it is our obligation as citizens to make sure that we have a place with ample room to detain, house, and incarcerate anyone that goes out of their way to prove they are either incapable or not willing to live by the rules of a civilized society. In the case of the 3 juveniles that stole this truck and led law enforcement on a multi-parish chase, one of the juveniles had 4 prior arrests on his record and was also caught, wait for it, with a stolen gun identified as having been used in other crimes in this area. Now, I am one of those that believes in second chances. Thank God for third, fourth chances. So there is the possibility that someone will intervene in the lives of these individuals and straighten them out. But based on what we've seen in the past, conventional wisdom says we're going to have to deal with these young people again. Fortunately, in this instance, no one lost their life. But you know, aside from the sheer tragicness of it all, 16, 15, 14, 17, stealing someone else's property, endangering the lives of the motoring public for no reason, aside from that, there is a financial impact, lost productivity, the shifting of resources to something that God knows should not be. But in addition to that, having voted down a new prison for the capital city, you realize with this explosion in juvenile crime, they have to be housed someplace. The nearest is Alabama. Let me say this another way for you. This explosion in crime and the lack of adequate facilities to house these individuals means you and I are now paying around $300 a day per juvenile inmate to be housed someplace else because we simply don't have the room for it. Now, far be it from me to decide how you want to spend your tax dollars. But at the end of the day, I've got to think these young people are not stupid. They understand full well if I do certain things and I get caught, it's just going to be a slap on the wrist unless it really, really goes south and they catch me and then house me out of state. Say what you will about young people today and how back in my day we had respect and we feared certain things. Well, the fact of the matter is, with popular culture being what it is, social media being what it is, individuals being who they are, there is no fear. There's no fear of repercussions. There's no fear of accountability for your actions. And to show you how far we have fallen in our society, there's actually now street credibility. Says a lot about us, doesn't it? At some point, y'all, we are going to have to grab this bull by the horns. And the fact of the matter is, if it's not blatantly true to you now, just keep breathing. It will be soon. We need adequate facilities to hold individuals. You've heard me say before, and I have co-opted this phrase, jail should be for people we're afraid of, not people we're mad at. You follow me? Certain things people do, and we are upset about it. That's not what jail is for. Jail is for individuals who at 16 has 4 prior arrests, caught leading law enforcement on a multi-parish chase with a stolen gun that's been identified as used in other crimes. That person does not need to be on our streets. Pure and simple. And the fact of the matter is, those of you who have children, and for that matter, those who don't, and go about your daily lives trying to abide by the rules, not endangering anybody else, their livelihood, or their lives, you deserve better. We deserve to be able to not have to worry every time we grab our keys to run to the store. We deserve not to have to worry whether or not our children are going to come home safe when they leave out the door to do something as innocent as go across the street to play with the neighbor's kids. And I've got to wonder, what is it going to take before the, quote, leaders in the community of people that look like me, what is it going to take before we stop making excuses and step up to the plate to handle the problem? Of course, now for many of you, the news media and the left will spin it to tell you it's because of something else somebody else did. Horse hockey. This is our problem, y'all. We allowed it to happen. We allowed it to get worse, and we are the only ones that can fix it. Pure and simple. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, we'll realize this and do what needs to be done. If not, rest assured, coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Tragic. First break of today's show. Speaking of tragedies, I want to talk about what happened at that concert in Houston recently. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances. Your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. It is a tragedy that has shaken the entertainment industry. The Astroworld Festival / Travis Scott concert has reinforced the old adage that in today's world, and I'm paraphrasing, you have to have situational awareness. Meaning, if you are not aware of everything around you all the time, you can very easily, at a moment's notice, sometimes with no notice at all, find yourself in a life or death situation. It's why people like me and many others in recent memory, we've developed the habit when I go out to a restaurant or any place of business that requires me waiting for service, I never sit with my back to the door, because if someone enters that business with ill intentions, I want to see it up front. That way I can, in whatever amount of time, make the best decision possible for getting out of that situation. I will leave to you and yours and brighter minds than mine to decide who is ultimately at fault. Travis Scott, the organizers, the people in attendance. I will leave that to someone else to decide. It is so very tragic when you look at the list of people that were victims. Well, actually, I should say, because even the injured were also victims, and support personnel who had to witness all of this, but particularly for those who died. Seeing a 9-year-old die at a concert is supposed to shock our conscience. Now, I want to be careful how I say this, and I hope you will accept it in the spirit that it's given. I question taking a 9-year-old to a concert like this. And here's why. Prior to this incident, I knew absolutely nothing about Travis Scott. Wouldn't know him if he walked up and introduced himself to me. Have no clue who the guy is. But in the aftermath of this, the content that this guy puts out there and what his show is all about, my humble opinion only, and again, far be it from me to tell anybody how to raise their kids, but in my opinion, it's not appropriate for a 9-year-old, particularly even if you say, well, Clarence, you just old-fashioned. Them young people nowadays, they know more about sex and violence than you ever did. And you could well be right about that. But at the end of the day, putting a 9-year-old in a situation with 50,000 other adults, grown folk, where there's the possibility of a huge mosh pit, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. And his shows in particular, there's a thing they call the wall of death, where the crowd splits down the middle, and then they rush full force into one another. That's not a situation you put a 9-year-old in. Now, I know what some of y'all are saying. Clarence, you weren't there. How you know about this? You ought not be saying, well, it just so happens that I have experience in this regard. I can't believe I'm going to tell y'all this story, but it's true. It's applicable here. When I was about that age, 9 years old, my late father, Sarge, took me to my first concert ever. Many of you watching probably remember the old Independence Hall. Sarge took me to see James Brown. Now I was about 9 years old. Well, you see, Clarence, you went to a concert at 9. True. But at a James Brown concert, there's not going to be a mosh pit, and there certainly is not going to be the, quote, wall of death. But it so happens, one fall at Southern University, I'm at a football game, and clear out of the blue, a severe thunderstorm erupts. Lightning flashing everywhere, thunder, it's pouring down rain. So everybody in the stands gets out and tries to get under the stadium, the only covered place during this violent storm. I'm in the middle of this crowd, and people are constantly trying to get into the overhang, or the underhang as the case is here, and get out of the weather threat. We were packed so tightly, I realized after a few minutes, I can't breathe. We were packed so tightly, there was not enough room for me to expand my lungs and catch a breath. I realized then, at 9 years old, and thank you, God, for situational awareness as a young person, I realized I'm about to pass out because I can't breathe. And back then, I was a real short fellow. Everybody thought I was going to be like my dad, a little short kid. I realized if I pass out, I'm going to fall down, and then it's over. I'll be trampled. They can't see me, the whole nine. So at that moment, and I can't believe I'm telling y'all this story, but it's the truth, and it's what I do. It's what I do. At that moment, literally on the doorstep of death, I did the only thing I could think of. Well, I don't mind telling y'all, it's the truth, and it may save somebody's life. I bit as hard as I could the buttocks of the person in front of me. I bit that dude. I bit him so hard. There is some guy, and I am apologizing, sir, to you right now, 55 years after the fact. There is some guy walking around, probably been married for 30 years or more, and his wife has never believed that you went to a Southern football game and some kid bit you in the you-know-what so hard you got a mark to this day. It was the only thing I could do. And I guess that immediate shot of pain and the adrenaline made him jump. And he turned around and looked at me. I said, I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. So immediately, he started yelling, making room. I mean, I was literally 5 seconds away from being crushed to death. And it was only because of some semblance then of situational awareness that I was able to get out of that. Again, sir, my sincerest apologies to you. And if you are married and your wife has given you grief for 35 or more years about the teeth marks on your behind, I'm fessing up. I did it. I did it. I had no choice. None. Well, I had a choice. It was die. Either bite the butt of the person in front of you or die. Pure and simple. My point is this, y'all. I raised my daughter telling her, if you don't put yourself in certain situations, you never have to worry about regretting it. There are a whole lot of things in life, y'all, that are completely beyond our control. There are things every single day that happen. Couldn't do anything about it even if we wanted to. But the things you can control, nowadays, you better, because again, anywhere at any time around anybody, if you are not aware of your surroundings, you can find yourself in a life or death situation real quick. What's going to happen in the aftermath of this? Hopefully, we're talking increased security measures. Hopefully, we are talking about more respect from concert goers for other people, and hopefully, a greater heightened sense of situational awareness, not just in large crowds, but in life in general. Those kids didn't ask to come here. We brought them here. And we deserve to do everything, well, they deserve having us do everything within our power to ensure their safety. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get this out of the way, come back and talk a little holiday talk. Oh, by the way, grab your wallets. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. In case you haven't noticed, the holidays are breathing down our necks, guys and girls. It is the old adage is certainly true, and I say old adage. I don't know how old it is, but I've come to see as I get older the wisdom of the statement. Life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. I mean, it seems like just yesterday we were starting a new year and chuckle, looking for great things to happen in our country. And here it is today. We are mere weeks away from Thanksgiving. You know, in South Louisiana, and this is nothing against any other geographical region, because I'm sure they feel the same about where they live. But the holidays are so very special here for us because we have food like no place else on the planet. I would imagine every single person watching right now has a very fond memory of a special dish that you fill in the blank here used to make for Thanksgiving and or Christmas when you were a child. And of course, we have recipes that have been handed down from generation to generation. And this time of year, we start making our plans and, you know, putting together the guest lists and menus and this, that, and the other. Well, as you might have imagined, if you've been to the grocery store anytime in recent memory, we are looking potentially at the highest holiday meal cost in history. The COVID pandemic, the supply chain crisis, the employment crisis, all converging at the same time to hit your wallet pretty hard this holiday season. Right now, the prices for turkeys, processed turkeys, compared to a year ago, it's going to cost you right at 41% more for that bird than you paid a year ago. It would be nice if that were the only thing, but if you have a basic knowledge of economics, you know typically, unless you're talking about something like avian flu or something, the prices are going to be reflected all across the board. And that's the case here. The Wall Street Journal this week reporting that turkeys were 60% out of stock. So if you haven't gotten that bird yet, you might want to go ahead and grab that puppy because you may find yourself on the outside looking in. Candied yams, Cranberries, if you're a South Louisiana boy like me, sweet potatoes, you make your own yams, all of those in short supply. And of course, if you are planning on getting the family in the car together to go over the river and through the woods to grandma's house, gas prices, need I say any more? Grain prices, things that they feed the turkeys, they grind up for us to make bread and seasoning, coating mixes, et cetera, 40% higher than the same time a year ago. Well, Clarence, I figured it out. We're going to do a roast. We're going to do beef. We're not going to even worry about the turkey since you say it's 41% higher. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, my friend, but beef and veal are up 41.5% over the same time a year ago. Now, for those who reside in the northern part of our country, particularly the Northeast, y'all better get ready, because natural gas prices to heat your home through the roof. At last I checked, I want to say, and don't take it as gospel, 114% increase in home heating oil and natural gas for folks that heat their homes that way in the winter. And of course, electric bills, they're up as well. It is something that led economists this week to pronounce, we thought that this inflation thing was going to be transitory. Well, it seems like it's going to be with us for a while. No. Based upon the economic policies of the people in charge, you better believe this is going to be with us for a while, y'all. It is a sad commentary, but it's very revealing when you analyze the economic policies of this current administration, because you then easily see they don't have a plan for getting us out of this, y'all. When gas prices are going through the roof, and your first order of business was to cancel the Keystone XL pipeline, and of course this week we find out that the White House is considering closing yet another pipeline, then you blame Russia and OPEC for not producing enough oil to stabilize the prices. Simple supply and demand, y'all. We're not talking PhD level economics. We're talking middle school stuff here. Supply and demand. And aside from not instituting measures that would mitigate inflation, you enact policies that exacerbate the problem. You turn around with the vaccine mandate that the trucking industry is telling us, if this goes through, we're going to lose about 37% of the drivers we have now. Oh, and that's in addition to the 30% that we are understaffed now. So you're talking particularly 67% of the industry that brings us about 80 to 85% of every single thing we use. Food, gas, cars, clothes, you name it. If you bought it, a truck brought it. And this is their approach. Now, you've heard me say before, I like to consider myself a glass half full guy. I would much rather look at the positive as opposed to the negative. But in this particular instance, it's painful, y'all. It's painful to watch. And as is typically the case, it is the least vulnerable. It is the least able and capable who are damaged the most by it. If you are, you bringing home $150K a year, wife's doing 100 and a quarter, well, turkey's up 41%, ain't no big deal to you. Electric bill goes up 20%, not a big deal to you. But for most of my fellow Americans, it's painful. And, it's one thing for you to give it lip service. It's one thing to tell me, oh, I feel your pain. We know what it's like. We know it's impacting this group and that group. That's one thing to say that. But what are you actually doing to fix the problem? Americans at this point, y'all, it is my sincerest belief, we are approaching a tipping point in this country. And recent polls show it, particularly among people of color. We no longer care what the letter is behind your name. We want you to fix the freaking problems. We don't care who lowers the price of the turkey, the cranberry sauce, the cornbread dressing. We don't care who lowers it. We just want it done. Now, in case you haven't noticed yet, all of this stuff is going to continue unless and until we demand better. See, right now, the powers that be, they understand. Well, if we tell them the Democrats are doing it, they won't want anything to do with it. We're safe. Or if we tell them the Republicans are for it, we don't have to worry about it because they're going to be against it. Well, here's my question to my fellow Americans. How's this crap working out for us? But as long as you continue to vote the way you vote, just because of someone's skin color or because of the letter designation behind their name, all you have to look forward to, my friend, is more of the same. I mean, after all, I don't necessarily blame them. I mean, I wish they were better people. But the fact of the matter is, for most people, particularly on the left, they'll never tell you this, but at some point they entertain this thought. Why should I do anything for them? They're going to vote for me anyway. Some of y'all not going to get that till later. That's all right, long as you get it. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Mandafine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at the Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Buck Show. You know, you've heard me say before that one of the things that's most disheartening to me as an American is watching this recent trend in our country of people that have problems with the truth. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand full well there are millions of individuals in this country that don't like what something stands for, what someone says, what someone believes. And as an American, that's your right. I get that. But at the end of the day, the truth is what the truth is. If someone genuinely tells you the truth, whether you like it or not, doesn't matter. It's still the truth. If someone is a different color than you and they tell you a truth, it doesn't matter whether they're black, white, red, yellow, polka dot, whatever, it's still the truth. If someone tells you a truth that goes against the grain for you, well, buck up, buttercup. It's still the truth. How we have arrived at a point in this country where, and I get it, it's written deep in the bowels of our Constitution. I've never read it, but I know it's got to be there. The line that says, it's America. You got a right to be a moron. That's your right. But your moronic attitude and approach to life has no bearing whatsoever on the truth. The truth is what the truth is, y'all. I am, as a guy, proud to say I've never watched soap operas. Ain't my thing. Well, wait, I gotta back up. I had a motorcycle accident in middle school. And this was way back in the day. And I was in a full cast had to stay home for about 4 months. And of course, back then, wasn't but 3 TV stations to choose from. Middle of the day, nothing on but soap operas. So you either watch this or watch nothing. So that was about the only time in my entire life I've ever watched soap operas, but I digress. Ingo Rademacher, and I hope I'm not butchering his name too badly, is a star of General Hospital, long time running soap opera. And recently, he's come under some pretty withering fire from the left for retweeting a post calling Rachel, born Richard, Levine as a dude. The left lost its freaking mind. So happens there is a fellow actor on this soap opera who is a transgender actor and wrote, quote, "I'm aware of a transphobic post shared by a fellow General Hospital actor. James, who plays Dr. Terry Randolph on the soap, tweeted to his fans, quote, 'Shame on you. You have some serious unlearning and education to do. I feel deeply disappointed that such a public display of ignorance would come from our GH family.'" Now, if anybody needs some education here, it's you. In case you didn't get it, maybe you've been completely out of the loop. Maybe, for whatever reason, you don't watch the news, you don't want anything to do with societal trends these days. Bruh is a dude. Okay? Let's get that out of the way. Richard/Rachel, you a dude, bruh. End of discussion. Now, let's understand something else here, y'all. You have the right, as an American, to think of yourself as anything you want to be. Inanimate object, opposite gender, identify as black, whatever. You have the right. But it doesn't change the truth. And I, as your fellow American, have every freaking right to say it. You ever notice something about the left? They will tell you this kind of crap. That's a woman. The hell it is. But then, if that weren't bad enough, now they want to cancel you and silence your right to say what you feel, knowing full well they lying in your face. Now, I gotta wonder, y'all, just an observation, if you can't trust these folks to tell you the truth about the difference between a man and a woman, how the hell are they qualified to tell you about anything else? If you can't get the basics right, I'm supposed to believe you can solve all these other problems? You don't know a dude from a woman. If your problems start there, God only knows how far back they go. But again, you've got the right to identify with whatever you want to. But rest assured, y'all, as long as there are real Americans, as long as there are those of us who will not willingly walk into the abyss of you taking our rights, our liberties, and our freedoms for nothing more than speaking the God-honest truth, you're going to have a fight on your hands till we gone, Captain. Of course, now that's probably why they are trying so very hard to indoctrinate our children at younger and younger and younger ages. So when old farts like me are gone, oh, they already got them lined up. Rest assured, Hoss, we ain't going down like that, not without a fight. See, that's why I don't do social media. I don't have to worry about you clowns. I tell it just like it is. You don't like it? Well, that's on you, Captain. But I cannot stress enough, if you have a problem with what I'm saying, your problem is not with me, your problem is with the truth. And if you have problems with the truth, that's a whole different show for a different day. Rachel/Richard, you a dude, bruh. End of discussion. You're a freaking dude. In case you didn't hear me, you a guy, bruh. And you can put on your pearls and your dress and your heels and your stockings, your pantyhose, whatever. You a dude, bruh. End of discussion. Let's move on and fix some other problem. This ain't one of them. Well, it's a problem for those of y'all that have a problem with the truth. For y'all, we got a special segment. Be sure you tune in Tuesdays for the second segment and catch, now that's just stupid. That segment is just for you. The thing I love about this country, y'all, this kind of crap can only continue if you allow it to. This kind of foolishness can only happen if we allow it to happen. You know your buddy Clarence. Oh, here comes another adage, darn tootin'. Evil flourishes when good men do nothing. There's too many good ones still left. Maybe that's why they're trying so hard to get us out of the way. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Old School Barbecue. My man KG, Kevin Gallagher, just walked in. Uncle Roy, gonna be rolling in any minute. They produce their podcast here. Come on by. We'd love to see you. That being said, my time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, just like any other, maybe more so than most, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.